Hey guys, thanks for joining us today for Crucible Cast episode 17.
17.
17. Wow. That's a 1 followed by a 7. For those of you that don't know.
Wow, you really learned your numbers.
I know. I've been working on it a lot. Spelling, still not working for me, but my numbers, I'm getting there.
You know what? I'm proud of you.
Thanks. So, as you guys all know, I'm Josh.
And I'm Brad.
That guy's Brad.
What?
But you may not have seen, well, I mean, you've probably seen Danny, but not on the Crucible Cast yet. So, Danny, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi guys, I'm Danny. I'm a developer on KeyForge alongside Brad here. I've been at Fantasy Flight for a while now, working on several different card games. Game of Thrones was my main one, but also Warhammer Conquest and Arkham Horror a little bit. Cool. But I've been, again, with Brad on KeyForge, did a little bit with him on the core set, and then have been pretty much full-time the last year or so, working on Mass Mutation, Worlds Collide, and some other stuff you haven't seen yet.
Ooh, don't talk about that. We don't talk about the future here.
Speaking of the future.
Yes. No.
Great Wonderful. Segue. Speaking of the future, Danny is going to be joining the Crucible Cast.
Yes.
As a regular member, and we're super excited to have him.
Yes, we very much are. I'm looking forward to be sitting across from you and a little bit more separated from that guy.
Yeah.
It's too close. Way too close. So just a heads up to everybody today, because this is the way we've been doing it. We are going to have a little schedule for you. We are going to talk about the news. Don't have a whole lot of it, but we got some news. We've got some organized play announcements. And then we've got what we alluded to last week. We've got our main event, which is going to be questions and answers.
Yes.
So we're very excited for that. Following that, we are going to have a little message to finish up the cast. And we will go from there. If you do want to just see any of those specific things, there will be timestamps below.
In the doobly-doo.
In the doobly-doo.
Right. Doobly-doo.
Yes, I will have to remember that. So, news. I know you guys had a cast last Thursday, or a live stream last Thursday.
Right,
yes.
Where you talked about a bunch of stuff that some people may not have seen, that I may not remember all of. So you want to catch us up on some of the new things?
Yeah, definitely. So last Thursday, we had a live stream featuring our first gameplay video of Mass Mutation, the next set of KeyForge. And I had a great time, and not just because I won. we got to try out a bunch of the new cards for you guys. Lots of new cards premiered. You guys definitely want to check that out if you haven't already. Link is in the description, but we got to play with some amazing new stuff. I got to use Deusilis, which is this ginormous, gigantic creature, which is one of our new mechanics in the set. It is a creature that is so big that it stretches over 2 cards, and you need both those cards in your hand in order to be able to play it. But once you do, well, check out the video and you can see what it did to Danny's battle line.
Yeah, that was pretty good for you. I got to play with some pretty cool enhanced cards, though. If you haven't seen that, it's another new mechanic for Mass Mutation that spits out new bonus icons to different cards in your deck. So I think I played a creature that had an Amber and Delta damage and drew a card all in one creature. That was pretty good.
I do recall something like that.
Yeah.
But it's this great push. It means that those icons are assigned to random cards within your deck, making your deck more unique than ever before. Really, seriously, check out that video, guys. It's worth your time.
More unique is more exciting for KeyForge.
It sure is.
All right, and when it comes to organized play, we don't have a whole lot to really talk to you guys about today, but I do want to mention something we called out on social media a couple weeks ago. Some of you may have missed it, but due to the coronavirus and, China actually being shut down for a while, some of our OP products have been delayed. Things that were in production or were supposed to go into production have been delayed a little bit. We are keeping up with them. I know that they're back in production. Some of our companies are back in full swing, but we don't have exact deadlines for when things are going to be ready. So we will let you guys know as soon as we have more information. We'll keep you guys in the loop as to when you're going to be getting your stuff. So that's what we got for OP.
Wonderful.
Sounds good.
And now, the main event. I don't have a main event voice. I need.
Yeah, work
and
on
now for the main event.
You
There it
do
is.
have a main
Did
event
that do it?
voice.
That's
Okay.
it. That's it.
Okay, cool.
Perfect.
I got it.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to pass it off to these two beautiful people
Yes.
to talk about your questions.
And today I'm going to be reading some questions to Danny. These were sourced from our lovely Discord, and they represent a lot of the burning questions that people have had since the release of Worlds Collide.
Yeah, emphasis on a lot.
A lot. We got 2 whole pages of rules questions today, and I'm going to be asking Danny today, who will be answering. So let's just jump into
Let's
it.
go for it.
So, Danny, when an effect allows you to move a creature in the battle line, are you required to move it to a different location?
No, you're not required to move it to a different location, Brad. So if an effect says, hey, move that creature anywhere in the battle line, that means anywhere, including the location it's already in. Similarly, there's some effects that say move a creature to a flank of the battle line. If it's already on a flank, you can just leave it on the same flank it's on.
That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right, so next question. What effects allow you to unstun an off-house creature? Something like Anger Chieftain, Ghost Hawk, Signal Fire? It's been asked a lot.
Yeah, and it's a really good question. We made an update in the last rules, the rulebook update, that changed a little bit of how stun was worded, how it worked, to sort of simplify things. But we did leave some ambiguities in there that have been causing confusion. So in our next update, which is going to be coming around the release of Mass Mutation, we are going to update that a little bit further. And we're going to clarify that basically anytime you could use a creature, you are also able to unstun it. So that includes a card that lets you reap with a creature, a card that just says each friendly creature may fight for the rest of the turn. Anything like that would allow you to unstun.
That's great. That's going to cut down a lot of those ambiguities.
Right. And my way of unstunning still works. Hey, Brad!
It does, yeah.
Yep.
Only,
Okay,
only
okay.
against Brad, though.
Still works only against Brad,
yeah.
yes. Okay.
Okay, so how does Creed of Nurture work when it's used to copy the text of a creature with a self-referential text, like Shorty, for example?
Yeah, so Shorty is a good example of self-referential text. That just means that it refers to its own title in its text box. So Shorty says Reap, Enrage Shorty. There's been a lot of confusion here because with Creed of Nurture, you could give that ability to a creature that's not named Shorty. You could have a
Right.
Ghost Hawk that has that text. So in the next rules update, again, we're going to clarify that that self-referential text always is referring to the creature that it's on. So if you gave Ghost Hawk the Shorty ability, it would now say Reap, Enrage Ghost Hawk, effectively.
Right.
Cool. So, rolling right along with self-referential abilities, what about an upgrade like Armageddon Cloak, which gives its creature that it's on an ability that refers to Armageddon Cloak itself? Is that considered self-referential text, or is it something else?
It is actually. Another point that is not in the rules right now, but we're going to add it. This doesn't come up too often, but the situation where it would occur is like if there are multiple Armageddon Cloaks out there. We want to make it clear that if a creature with Armageddon Cloak gets destroyed, the Armageddon Cloak on that creature is the one that is destroyed. You couldn't apply it to any Armageddon Cloak.
Yeah.
So the next rules update will, again, make sure upgrades work that way.
Wonderful. Sounds like a massive upgrade to our current self-referential rules.
Massive. It's good.
Wow.
I got you. I got
Yeah.
you. So, Danny, what happens if a creature is warded after being tagged for destruction, but before it leaves play?
Yeah, this is a situation that can come up in some kind of weird corner cases, and I'm sure that in the future there will be even more cases where it might come up. What happens is that it's too late to save that creature. Once it's been tagged for destruction, a ward will not save it. We already, had in the rules that a ward prevents a creature from being tagged, but we hadn't really mentioned what happens if it gets tagged and then it gets warded. So now we're going to make it clear that yes, it still leaves play. It's too late to save
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. So once tagged, it is tagged.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep. It's going to leave play for sure.
Yep.
Wonderful. Rolling right along, we have some effects, like, say, Pain Reaction or Smite, might affect a creature's neighbor after that creature has left play. What do you do in a case like that?
It's a good question. So Pain Reaction is a great example where it deals damage to a creature, and then if that creature is destroyed, also tries to deal damage to its neighbors. We had some questions come up. Well, it's not in play anymore. Does it have
Right.
neighbors?
It doesn't have neighbors. Sure.
We're going with probably the most intuitive answer to that, which is its neighbors at the time it left play are the neighbors that it refers to.
Yep.
Wonderful. Continue to roll right along. I know there's a lot of questions, guys, but I hope this helps.
Yeah.
If stealing amber is replaced by a replacement effect, such as, whatever, is that do we name it Gargantodon? Or,
Yeah.
I'm thinking a
It's a
different.
really big dinosaur.
Right, I'm thinking the magic card.
It's,
Can we cut out that section? Let's just take it from the top there. If stealing amber is replaced by a replacement effect, such as Gargantodon, will Molphin's effect trigger?
Yeah, so this is a question that comes up because, Molphin, it says after amber is stolen from you, and Gargantodon changes.
Right.
So that amber isn't actually stolen, it's just captured instead. So no, Molphin will not trigger unless you actually have amber stolen from your pool.
Good. Okay. Good. Moving on. How does Replicator's Reap effect interact with a creature that has multiple Reap effects?
Good question. So again, Replicator refers to triggering the Reap effect of a creature. It's a singular Reap effect. So if you pick a creature that has multiple Reap effects, you would just have to choose one of those Reap effects to trigger.
Cool.
Anytime, basically, that we're referring to a singular effect, it's only going to be one of them. You don't get to do all of them or anything like that.
Wonderful. Now, our favorite for the rules corner and resident problem child. If Jargoggle somehow ends up with multiple cards underneath it, what happens when it's destroyed?
Jargoggle, it's the worst. In this case, it's pretty straightforward, though. It's basically the same thing we just said with Replicator. You will only get one of those cards because it refers to the card underneath it. So it's destroyed effect or trigger. You pick one card underneath it to archive or play, and the rest are just discarded.
Wonderful. How does Compsos Haruspex, say that 5 times fast,
No, can't do it.
interact with play/fight abilities?
Yes, this comes up because obviously Compsos Haruspex turns your play effects into reap effects, but there was sort of some confusion as to whether a play-fight effect actually counts as a play effect, and it does.
Totally does.
So a play-fight effect with the Compsos in play will become a play-fight reap effect.
That's awesome.
Yeah, pretty exciting.
Yeah.
Okay, last but certainly not least.
Well, yeah.
My opponent's battle line consists solely of 3 gubs. If I play Throwing Stars, dealing 1 damage to each gub, how much amber do I gain?
Yeah.
Show your work.
Yeah. Gotta do some complex math on this one. Actually, it's pretty easy. You just gain 2 amber. Throwing Stars is going to deal 1 damage to each of them. There's the 2 1-power gubs that will be destroyed by the Throwing Stars. You gain 2 amber because you destroyed them.
Yep.
The 3rd gub obviously will eventually die when the other 2 leave play and its power goes back down to 1. But that's not an immediate direct result of Throwing Stars, so it's not going to count for Throwing Stars destroyed this way text.
Wonderful. So, that's all our rules questions. Keep on sending them in, because we need them. And I assure you, all of the questions you send in, we are trying to get to in the timeliest manner possible.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. That was a lot, and
You're
I know I've
welcome.
learned something, so I appreciate it. Before we go, though, for today, we do have a special message, I guess is what we'll call it.
Sure.
So we'll turn our time here over to Brad.
So, this is really hard to say, but this is going to be my last Crucible Cast. I've made the very difficult decision to leave Fantasy Flight Games and pursue my next big adventure in life. Over the past 9 years, I've had the pleasure of making games for a wonderful community of people, and it's been honestly the greatest honor of my life to be able to bring more joy to you guys. I'd really like to take a moment to thank some of the people that have been instrumental in me growing both as a person and as a game designer. First, of course, I want to thank Richard Garfield, Coney Garfield, and Scaff Elias. The opportunity to work with such an amazing, wonderful group of people is something that was absolutely incredible. The amount I learned on the first couple sets of KeyForge is just absolutely precious to me, and I can't thank them enough for that. Secondly, to the KeyForge team at FFG, I can hardly believe what we've been able to turn out with such a talented group of individuals. Art directors, developers, graphic designers, programmers, and producers have all really come forward and helped to make KeyForge possible. It's not just me and some designers, it's a huge group of people that are all working hard to make this game possible. And again, I can't thank them enough. They've put up with every crazy request I've ever had and all the bad jokes that I've constantly lobbied at them. Thirdly, I'd like to thank my family and friends for always supporting me. Times have not always been the best, but they've stuck with me through thick and thin, and as I make my next big step in life, I'm going to be relying on them even more than ever. But last, I want to thank you guys out there, the fans of KeyForge. We work really hard to make the game for you, but you're the ones that breathe life into this. The community, the organized play, everything you guys do, all the wonderful jokes and discussions you have, they mean the world to me. And I hope you guys continue to enjoy every bit of it. I have so much confidence in the design team here at FFG. They are doing wonderful things and are pushing this game in directions that are going to surprise you guys for years to come. So you guys have absolutely nothing to worry about. But that's really all from me for now. Guys, keep on forging forward, and maybe I'll see you on the other side of a tournament table soon. Thank you again.
All right. Well, thanks for that, Brad. I know that you know, but we're all going to miss you.
I'm going to miss you guys too. I love all of you guys.
Yeah, we love you too.
Really, really are.
I know we're in good hands. You've left us in very good hands. But
I know I have.
we're going to miss you and all of your terrible jokes. The jokes may be a little bit less than you.
I'm not going to miss the jokes.
But yeah, we will leave you guys on that somber note today. Thank you for joining us for episode 17. Make sure, like Brad said earlier, to keep submitting those rules questions to kfrules@fantasyflightgames.com. We really, really appreciate when you guys ask us those questions because it helps us to, learn.
Again, and it helps make the game better.
Right. And don't forget to subscribe. Make sure that you get the updates as to when we go and post new videos. Hit that that little bell down in the bottom corner as well. And as always, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I don't know, are there other things that they can follow us on? There's so many things I can't keep track of them anymore. But those links are all in the description below. And we look forward to seeing you guys next month.
Take it easy, guys.
Bye.